sipping bush. I'm off the kush. Like what you done and where you live. I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. Got corona. I'm sipping bush. I'm on the kush. I'm on the couch. Blunt in my mouth. Sit down. Oh wow. Meow. Oh wow. Meow. I'm sipping bush. I'm off the kush. Where you done? I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I'm off the kush. I'm in the back. I'm sipping that. I got a gun. I got a gat. I got a rocket. I got a launcher. I got a rocket. It's fucking awesome. I'm sipping bush. I'm off the kush. Like what you done and where you at and where you at. Where you at? I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I got corona. I got the course. I'm sipping bush. I'm sipping bush. I'm off the kush. I got corona. I'll sip bush. Hey, why you done? Hey, how you done? Hey, how you done? Say 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 how you done? I'm sipping bush.
How you doing? What are you doing?
Doing
here.
good. How you?
I'm doing.
How's everybody doing? We are the White Collar Rhymes crew. Is that what we call ourselves?
Collective? Crew?
Community art theater.
We're people, and today is January 14th, 2024, and we're here to stay warm because it's cold as fuck outside.
Indubitably.
Fucking
Is that how you stay warm? Do you have a heater in your place of residence, Bird?
No, I just like rub my hands really fast until my entire body warms up. I have to do that mostly that.
I left those little hands there for you. You could use those.
I do in so many ways.
Is that a normal thing up in the Northwest? Lack of I can understand no AC, but lack of heater in the houses.
I've got central heating.
Okay.
The problem is, downstairs becomes a flaming inferno, and then every other room is just like a fucking igloo. So we're trying to figure out a happy medium.
Here's your happy medium. Do what I did and get a couple of these bad boys. Not this is a portable AC. Does it cold air and hot air. Put it where it's not getting the central air and turn that motherfucker on.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, like me.
Hell yeah. Support you.
Nikki, how you doing in Michigan?
Freezing my ass off.
You don't look very good. We both have on beanies and
I don't
gear.
wear beanies. Beanies look weird on me.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a beanie too.
Eyes and
Just move it. Oh, do like this. Like, see, look, I can even show you because I have hair. Do one of these numbers.
I look weird in beanies. I only wear
Is it
beanies.
because you have a cone head?
I don't have a cone head. Do I have a cone head?
Do you?
I don't know. I thought we all kind of did a little bit. We all got, well, not all of us, I guess, got pushed out, but most of us.
I mean, we all got pushed out of something.
To get taken out, like a C-section, not pushed out, maybe not as big of a cone head.
That's true.
Is there studies of C-sections versus cone head births?
We need to get to the bottom of this. That's the real science.
I didn't know this was a problem that we needed to solve, but I'm all for it. Cone head epidemic.
White collar rhymes on the forefront of fringe science.
So I take it you guys you're stuck in the house because of the snow.
Yeah,
I'm not stuck in the house because of snow. I'm just stuck in the house because it's cold as shit outside. But I like to relate to my peers and seem like I have the same problems, even if they aren't realistically the same.
Yeah, I mean, I finally got a taste of my own medicine. I am never, ever, ever, ever at home on a Friday or a Saturday, and fucking here we are. Stayed indoors for 2 days in a row, gonna be 3. So yeah, hunkering down with some Maker's Mark and a ton of Warzone. Just so much Warzone.
Is that the only game you play?
Yeah, it is.
You need to expand your gaming horizon. There are plenty of
Oh,
other.
so I can like build fucking Lego forts with fucking teenagers? No thanks. Fuck
I'm not saying I didn't say play Lego Fortnite with teenagers. I said just play something else with adults.
No, Call of Duty is the only
Why
adult
would you?
game
Why would you think that's my first suggestion is to go play with children?
Because you play Apex and it's just all fucking teenagers.
There's no building on there, and there's no Legos, and there's no forts.
That's all it is. You're like, oh, I want to shoot this person who's my enemy, but oh my god, they're building a fucking log cabin in front of me. All right,
that's Fortnite, not Apex.
Well, that's what I meant.
Get your games right, and you act like
garbage.
You act like there's not a million 12-year-olds running around on Fortnites hurling out racial slurs.
I don't actually know anything about that.
Sure.
Because I have party chat turned on and I only play with allies.
Oh.
Both in game and out of game.
You don't trash talk the other team?
No.
Don't they have the close proximity people are dying?
They have death comms, and to be honest, I don't need anyone else hearing my screams of horror. No one else needs to record D-Bird screaming at the top of his lungs.
People can record you.
Yeah.
You can screen cap stuff. Yeah.
What do you think? This is a private world, Nikki?
No, I'm just like, I don't know. I just didn't think people record you like if you're talking on. I always fucking talk when I'm playing COD to everyone, and you hear every cuss word. You hear me call everybody everything.
What kind of cuss words do you say, Nikki?
Anything that comes to my mind when I'm pissed. Everything. Like literally.
So confirm Nikki is one of the million 12-year-olds hurling slurs.
People probably think that I'm 12 on there.
Oh, definitely. I don't think
because the first thing you lead with is like first thing you lead with is what's your favorite rock? They're like, okay, kid, where are your parents?
I like rocks.
You must be snowed in, so you can't go outside and collect rocks. So you brought them to Call of Duty.
I'm not playing Call of Duty. I was recording and figuring out latency issues that I thought I figured out, and then something else happened, and then I didn't, and then I watched a bunch of videos, and then some things worked, some things didn't, and it's temporarily working right now. So we're gonna go with it and not touch anything.
So music stuff. You've been doing music stuff. That's great.
I actually closed up a collab that I've been working on since June.
I had to check the calendar real quick.
No, I don't know if it's okay. I sent out the first reference for it.
The first reference. How many drafts were there?
I have 20 sessions of it, different ways. I couldn't decide and figure out if any were even good enough to send.
So let me ask you this. What is the difference between 19 of those sessions and the one that you ended up choosing?
I fixed lyrics so it feels like it goes better. It doesn't feel stuck.
But you saved the previous 19 iterations rather than just...
I did, because they're just in my computer now. I just started over. You know how many things I just started over? I was like, nope, I'm not feeling the energy I was doing the entire thing, so I'm just going to start a whole new session.
Okay. I'm just trying to, understand everybody.
I used to delete the session, but then I lost so many takes that were actually probably good that I just deleted because I was like, fuck this. I can't do this right now. And so instead I've just been doing a save as, fucking delete everything in it and start over. So then I have the old session just in case.
You just reminded me, I totally forgot about this until this very second. But speaking of I just wasn't in the mood anymore. Years ago, an ex-girlfriend's best friend came up to visit, and she was a total fucking B word. Like, I never used the B word, but she was that. And yeah, I hated her guts. She was mean, she was rude, she was very hippy dippy and very judgy, ironically. I was like, what do you have to judge for? You're unemployed and smell bad. So after that experience was over, she stayed with us for a week. I wrote like 16 bars of the start of a diss track to this random friend of my girlfriend's, and never finished it. It took me like a day. It felt better writing it, and I was like, "Yeah, what's this for?"
You should revive that one. Go in the vault and pull that one out.
I'm sure I have it saved somewhere in the notes folder.
Just put it as a an extra verse on the Kayla diss track. Just extend that one out.
For what it's worth, the Kayla wasn't meant to be a diss track. It was just like how I was feeling, and how I was feeling was really fucked up.
You felt like dissing.
Don't hug me in public.
That's how you were feeling. It was like, get off me, bitch.
Yeah.
Ooh, Awol's wife is watching. Hi, Miss Awol.
Well,
Miss Awol.
Speaking of Awol, we are going to be interviewing none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, LinkedIn's self-proclaimed #1 rapper, MC Awol.
Mick Awol.
Are you guys ready to bring Awol into the fold, or is there any other things that we need to get off our chest? Any bad mojo that we need to relieve before we have company in our house?
I think that we bring him in, and then we can bullshit and circle jerk once he's part of the crew.
I'm not on board with all of what you said, but I'm okay with proceeding down that path. Just wanted to announce that in case there was any confusion.
Sorry. Circle heavy petting. Got it.
There we go. All right. I'm going to shoot Awol the guest link, so Awol will jump on here in just a moment. Just so everybody knows, Awol joined our community, I don't know, sometime last year, and we were very perturbed by his presence because he was everything that we defined as white collar rhymes, and unexpected that he actually fit the mold. We were so used to getting rappers with their big jewelry necklaces or talking about how many guns and scantily clad women that they had, that here came Awol rapping about his white collar job, and we were like, what the fuck is this? It's confusing.
Yeah. Oh, you put your raps on LinkedIn? Get the fuck out of here. You're more white collar rhymes than I am.
Yeah. So without further ado, here is MC Awol himself.
Hi, Awol.
Yeah.
Let me turn that shit off. There we go. All right. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me. I hear an echo. Is that me?
That's probably me. Do you still hear an echo? All right.
There it is.
So, why don't you introduce yourself just for the viewing audience and your millions of adoring fans who will probably tune in on LinkedIn?
I will definitely post this on LinkedIn, and I'm sure they'll see it. My name's Awol, Adam Wolkov, so it's a portmanteau, very easy, given to me. Yeah, I work for LinkedIn. I put my raps on LinkedIn. It's pretty much my whole persona now, both at work and in life. Literally went to a bar mitzvah yesterday and saw a family member, and first thing they said was like, "Oh, are you hopping on the mic?" I'm like, "No."
Do you charge your family for appearances for like a walkthrough fee?
I charge them to sit here while I rap and listen to it. So
that's fair enough.
Pay them. Sorry.
That's that's actually bringing up my first question that I am just dying to know, because I also work in corporate America. I have had multiple experiences as the rapper guy at work. And to me, it was the bane of my existence, because every time they're like, you become the rapper guy rather than the professional thing. And maybe you're high up enough. They're like, he still does the job so well. But my question is this, Awol, being known as the rapper guy, both at work and with your family, they're always tap you on the shoulder like, oh, get up there. Oh, you going to get on the mic? Oh, what's that experience been like for you? Does that happen all the time? They're like, hey, for forecasting, please hop on the mic.
I mean, it certainly has. I would say it ebbs and flows. I would say the requests come in almost when you don't want them, like any other open, right? Like the one that you want to do comes in when you can't do it. And my worst experience was at an engineering all hands of 3,000 people. 3 days before, they're like, hey, it would be great if you could just, throw a rap in. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. I'll just whip something up. And this is, so I'll back up a little bit. So before I met you folks, I was doing a lot of mixtape stuff. Just my favorite raps, changing the words around was a lot easier for me. Cadence was just handed to me. And I would just kind of swap things in, but still a lot of work, right? Like just coming up with lyrics that fit that puzzle the right way was a lot of work. But it's a lot of fun as well. Like it's good that a lot of people come up to me, know me, it's not a bad thing at work, right? At the same time, yeah, like it's really tough where I'm going up in a few weeks to do Lunar New Year. I don't even think I'm rapping. I think they just want like the MC on the stage. They knew I'd do it. And to your point, I had to be really clear first with them, like, hey, I can MC. I cannot create content. I cannot, be a part of this the way you want. I'm just going to go read some cards. And then I went to my boss and I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to do this thing, but it's very limited. I'm only going to be showing up, reading off a card and going home. Because, to your point, Bird, like it does overshadow everything else. Like I do have to justify my time sometimes. I am at a senior level, but I still have to, even more so. Like, oh, you're singing, dancing, you're doing all these other things that you want to do.
Wait. You dance while you get on the stage too?
Not really. I mean, I think you folks have seen me live. I pace back. But
nothing wrong with a little rapper crotch grab every now and then.
No, certainly not a word.
Situationally.
Yeah.
I mean
on yourself, not other people.
That's the other thing, right? Like you have to watch what you say all the time because somebody from work is going to see it for sure.
And
go ahead. What do you say?
With that, like, how does that, sometimes if you want to do something that's a little bit more obscure, like off the record, how does that blend and ebb and flow with your professional life? Like, are you able to keep that separate if you did want to go a different way where it wasn't so professional, possibly, where it wouldn't affect unless you'd have to do a whole alter ego?
No, I just don't. Like, I just have a line that I can't cross anymore because I know that work is going to see it. I have had random people that are more senior than me send my raps to me and go like, oh, this one was great. Like, oh, shit. Like, you saw that?
Is that a compromise? You had something you enjoyed doing, other types of raps, or no? Was it just you're happy with this?
I mean, it's certainly not what I listen to. I don't go listen to, what I listen to, I have to hide from my kid for sure. But I mean, it's fine. There's plenty of words to string together. There's plenty of ways to do it. I still say plenty of off-color things sometimes that I think are pushing the bar. But I mean, I did a summer camp over the summer, and I rapped to a bunch of 13 and 14-year-old kids, teaching them Python through rap. It was a lot of fun. And I did a cover of my buddy's song, who's a nerd rapper. And it ends with I smoke and I drink. It's all about And a mother came up to me and she literally was like, that was not the best choice of words in front of I was just like, it's my go-to jam. I don't even think about it. I just pulled it out of my pocket and performed it. Not even, I was like, oh, this is one safe for work. It's going to be fine. And she was like smoking and drinking, 13, 14-year-olds.
Well, it just kind of goes back to where we're at in today's society, I would say, which is like, there is still a lot of stigma around rap and hip hop, and there's all sorts of different levels of comfortability of I'm comfortable with this word and not that one, right? Some people think hell is a bad word, right? So you say hell, they're oh, and all it takes is the wrong person to hear, the wrong word that triggers them a certain way.
I mean, fortunately, I can swear, right? Like, you're in corporate America, you know, like, plenty of swearing happens in meetings. The boss's boss drops F-bombs. So I can at least, get it. But then I always hear Bird, like, in the back of my head saying that fuck is lazy. And when you put fuck in a bar, it's lazy. I always hear that every time I say no. So, like, even more G-rated thanks to you.
Oh, appreciate that. Just trying to clean up your raps, man. Just kidding.
Have you ever had anybody from any of your coworkers not come back and say that I like this track, but ask about a questionable lyric or line that you had?
Not like questionable in terms of content, that hasn't happened, but like it doesn't make sense or this bar is stupid. I've certainly got.
They're critiquing you?
Yeah, I got a bunch of. I work with engineers, right? So like they're certainly critiquing me, and that's why I have a Genius, is so that I can justify my lyrics without having to jump on Slack and keep justifying my lyrics. I just made a Genius when people were questioning it. But yeah, like engineers are very nitpicky, and they certainly will question the things I say.
Would you say that the way that I view engineers is puzzle solvers, right? There's like a puzzle in front of you and you're trying to like kind of put the pieces together to come up with a bigger, solution. Would you say that kind of part of you is one of the reasons you got into rap?
Yeah, I have an intro to a song where I put that, where that's exactly what it feels like to me when the words rhyme the right way. And I don't feel like I have too many words in there. I've got a lot of lessons from you guys that just float in my head, so I have to keep going back and critiquing my own lyrics. But it does feel like it clicks sometimes, and it's just like, oh, that worked. That was perfect. That was nice. It does feel like a puzzle. I really like it a lot.
So what got you into rap? Let's go back to when did you first start rapping?
Got me into rap. I was 4 years old. My next door neighbor was a few years older. For whatever reason, she had a Run DMC tape, and it said "motherfucker" on it, and we just replayed that over and over and over. Couldn't get enough. Yeah, I was 4. And then I listened to the rest of the tape afterwards. Hasn't left my rotation since. And I just grew up on rap. I've always listened to nothing but rap. Been writing my own raps probably over 20 years. I have some that go back to like 2001, 2002 that are sitting in my digital hoarding pile. What happened was I did it for a talent show at work, and then kind of like Bird mentioned, I became, oh, you rap. Like, oh, can you do one for a product launch? Okay, sure. Can you do one for this? Can you do one for the all hands? And just kept going. And then I started doing more original content last year. My brother passed away a few years ago, and writing music, I'm sure for you folks too, very cathartic. Like, Bird was saying before about, you didn't intend to write a diss track. You were just getting some feelings off your chest. Same thing. Just wanted to get some feelings off my chest, and, released it for my brother's friends, and well received. And I just kept making more and more music. And I would say, mid last year, stumbled upon you folks on Reddit, and decided that I had been living in kind of an echo chamber at work. Like, I say all the time, I assume 3% of people hate my guts anytime I open my mouth, like at minimum. So I was well aware that like my raps weren't always well received. But I decided to get some external feedback, put some stuff on the show, got some really, really critical feedback. I will throw out there too, I think some folks are really harsh on you guys being harsh, but that's what we sign up for, right? Like I don't want to be told everything is great. I can put it on LinkedIn for that. And a lot of people will.
I couldn't imagine.
And for what it's worth, everything that we say on review shows, this comes from a place of we've been there, we've done it. Like, I think the very first podcast that we did, one of the first 2 or 3, we showed our old music, right? To show kind of the journey and how we came. So if we can fast forward the growth for people and make them not have to make the same mistakes of like, it sounds like you're whispering or it's too many words, right? Then we'll count that as a win.
Yeah, and it's gotten to the point where I don't really submit to review shows anymore so much as just Dice mixes a lot of my music, so I get plenty of free feedback. He just
he
really
just can't help himself, can he?
Soliciting feedback.
But I do think that a lot of the feedback has become like, oh, it's just so nerdy, like it's just not going to land for everybody. And that actually to me is success, right? Like it's less about the rhythm and less about sticking words in there and less about all these things. I do feel like I've come a long way in the last 6 months, thanks to the help of you folks and others. So.
I think in my mind, you're kind of an anomaly of somebody who can actually take, the criticism for what it is meant for, of like, oh, I see what they're saying about these technical things, right? And you can actually sit in that uncomfortability long enough to listen and then kind of adjust what you're doing. That's really rare.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add.
It's a huge shout out to you. That's all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't sit in that uncomfortability.
I mean, again, I really like my job. I love LinkedIn, and one of our values is be open, honest, and constructive. And I really like that one at work because you don't find it all the time, even in a company that values being open, honest, and constructive. I've had to tell people that comes with an asterisk, right? Like, as long as you don't hurt people's feelings is usually the way that works. And it's really hard to hurt my feelings. If you're not insulting my wife or my son, you're not going to offend me. So I've just gotten good at taking feedback, and I just the more harsh, the better, right? Because it's as long as it's not mean. If it's somebody just really trying to be critical and trying to help you improve, great. Somebody being mean, that's not going to work well.
Yeah, I found that like the negative perceptions that we get on the review show are people who take it as like I know you personally. Like I don't know these people personally. You're putting a link out here for me to listen to and expecting me to like give you a round of applause. It's not going to happen. I'm treating it just like it would if I, God forbid, turned on the radio for the first time in 20 years and then I started hearing stuff that I didn't like, and somebody asked me, well, what do you think of my favorite artist so-and-so on the radio? I'd say the same thing about that. So, I think it's hard to get those random interactions without people returning to understand that like things that I say about your song has nothing to do with you as the person. And I think that gets difficult when people make songs that they feel are personal. And then you start saying, well, your flow is off or the lyrics don't make sense. And they're like, well, I spent 20 hours on the lyrics. And I'm like, well, it still doesn't make sense to me, buddy. Spend 20 more hours. So I don't know what people want to say in that sense, but I've found that you've been very receptive to even those like minute things of like, hey, why did you take a breath right here instead of just stopping and starting over? So that stuff it's really helpful from an interaction standpoint. And I hope it encourages other people to kind of like take those criticisms as like purely work on your track, not work on your personality.
Well, I'd also say that I think people don't understand sometimes that feedback can be disagreed with as well, right? Like I have a song I submitted to you folks about 6 months back, and I think it was just universally reviled. I think it's probably why Passive left. Like that song and was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. And I performed it at work and people loved it. Like it was just really, maybe it was just the delivery was different. I don't know. But like other people have heard the song and really liked it as well. I think also you just have to take feedback and say like, thanks for the feedback, but I personally disagree with you. And I'm not going to accept this particular piece of feedback. I'm going to, get revert and say that I'm not going to take that one and just,
Absolutely. It also, and that's the other thing I tell people is like, think of your audience. Like, don't bring me a EDM dubstep, gotta be high on shroom song and expect me to like bang my head on the review show. Like, I'll give you my ears, like, how does it sound? But like, if you expect me to be like cheek to cheek smiling while your EDM is playing, it's not gonna happen. But I'll tell you, like, good job, dude. Fuck out of here.
I mean, I think that rap is sort of unique in that ego is just part of it. Like pretty much ego and rap are sort of synonymous, right? And I think there's a lot of ego and a lot of people that just kind of have these expectations of, oh, I did the auto tune. I just said random stuff over a beat. That's what rap is, right? So why aren't you loving it? This is the rap I listen to and I love that. Why don't you love this? It's because there's more to it than that. And it's just gets lost in the mix.
It could be too that I work with engineers, right? And like engineers are always smarter than each other. I'm definitely used to people telling me my code sucks or I should have done it a different way or this and that. Like, and there's plenty of disagree and commit. I've gotten really good at taking feedback. And I mean, I usually say I think my strength is I know my weaknesses. So when people are calling out weaknesses that I know I have, it's like, okay, you're preaching to the choir. This is already something I'm working on. Whereas if you bring me something new I haven't heard, like, I think, again, like, Bird telling me that dropping F-bombs is lazy. Like, okay, personally disagree sometimes. Sometimes, like, it fits and I want to get that out. But I certainly think about it, and it helps me when I'm refining things, like, just to have another voice in my head.
I think, and, to put a finer point on that, which a lot of people don't, really think about. I think about it all the time too, is like, if you're doing it as filler, then you can use any word in there. And if you can use any word in there, that's fucking lazy. Right. But I swear in my songs, I'm not like some like never swearer. I'm no teetotaler. It's just a matter of the intention behind it. Right. Is there a purpose for this to be there? If yes, pass go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a song with this guy, and he pinged me today. He was like, you have a line you're saying dope ass beat. Like, can you change that? Because my daughter really likes this song and I keep having to cough over it every time I play your bar. I'm like, dude, if your daughter likes this, absolutely, like, of course I can change that line. Like, no problem.
Just put a scratch in it.
Have to cough over it. That's funny. Dice, does your kid, you let him listen to swear words? You play your music for him?
Listen to K-pop when he's riding around with me.
You don't listen to Healthy?
No.
Universal banger. All I'm saying.
No, I mean, different people have different parenting styles, I would say, but I don't think he's ready to really process the difference between things that are said in music and things that people would say in like regular conversation. So for now, I just divert those two things and say, this is music, this is conversation, until he's ready to kind of like process that mentally and have those understanding of like, this is why people are saying these things versus this is somebody performing a song. Because otherwise he's just going to walk around, like Bird and dab in people's face.
Dab.
I want you to come raise my kid now, because my kid's like searching swear words on Google. So
that's how
you
it starts.
Let your kid support your rap career?
No, my kid doesn't listen to my music at all. I mean, I don't even listen to music around him for the most part. I have a kid-safe rap list, and every time I listen to it, I just chip away at it. Like, yeah, that one wasn't as safe as an edited version, huh, guys? Yeah, thanks. Like,
the edited, that's the funny thing. The edited versions of songs now, it's like half the words are basically gone, and still the context of it is like, wow, this is on the radio still.
or they pull out like one syllable of a swear word. It's like, okay, he still knows exactly what you're saying.
Or they deem one a swear word and the other one not, and I'm like, that's worse than that word you bleeped. Like, what?
Like, there should not be any reason that wet ass pussy has a clean version on the radio. Like, I don't care how you spin it. There's no coming back to me. Hey, dad, what does WAP stand for?
Dude, well, genital hygiene, very important. Very important.
Yeah, sure. That's all right. Take care of your genitals.
Wash your ass.
One thing you mentioned, Awol, is like, I noticed that you probably, for your style of music, collaborate more than the average White Collar Rhymes Discord member. How do you come across these collaborations? Is it you reaching out, or is it people reaching out to you? Is it you send them a connection request on LinkedIn? How does that work?
I would say the collab forum on your folks' Discord server has worked pretty well. I put a few invites on there and got a bunch of folks that wanted to connect. I have a beat library of beats I've licensed that I liked. And when you offer people, hey, like, grab any beat you like and pick whatever theme you want, let's jump on this, it works pretty well. Reddit, the Making Hip Hop, where I found you folks, subreddit, a lot of folks on there that I found to collaborate with, especially producers. in particular, which I think is more important, actually. Just there's plenty of producers on there that are like, yeah, you can use whatever beat you want. Just make sure you set up splits, and we've worked it out. And yeah,
I have questions.
Oh,
go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
Have you ever gotten unwanted collabs after getting halfway through a greeting and being like, oh, this just wasn't what I was looking for? Either the lyrical content's way out there or not your style, something that doesn't resonate, or it's just bad. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I have two that happened the last few months. So one was somebody I did collaborate with that just blew up on me one day randomly. Very, very strange, but like, it ended with, I hope you kill yourself. And it was like, okay, that took a strange turn.
Oh, wow. Like, I hope they didn't come from our Discord.
They did, but it's okay. Like I just block them. It doesn't matter to me. Like moderation tools work fine. Like,
damn.
No,
some people with one of our members though.
Well, I see birds' wheels turning. You're not going to guess who it is anyway, so it doesn't matter. That was one.
No, but let us know if it's ever someone on our server for sure.
Oh, I mean, I trust the moderation tools to work. I just report people that do things that are no bueno, and it works out. Like I don't have to interface with people.
Like,
that's fine. And then there was another one. I learned this new term recently, Sigma male, which I had never heard this term before. Somebody took one of my beats, threw a verse about that on it, and I was like, huh. Like, I got to tell you, I got nothing to offer here. Why don't you keep this beat and we'll work it out in the future. Like, you got an open somewhere, just send it to me. Like, it's fine. I got other beats. But yeah, I mean, I
versus an alpha. So it goes back to that mentality.
wait,
I'm going to use
I mean, again, it's
look that up.
I'm going to use that in my next meeting. Like, dude, stop acting like a Sigma male.
You might as well say beta cuck. I mean, it's that right wing fucking craziness. Yeah, it's the same thing.
There we go. I like that.
Repurpose it, Dice. Make it cool again.
Was it ever cool? I don't know if I'm making it cool again or if I'm making it cool in the first place.
The whole MAGA movement, I think, is about making Sigma a cool term.
Okay. I will put that on my to-do list. So, Awol, one question I did had. So, you were on Making Hip Hop before you joined our Discord. And I'm going to do my best here not to upset any of the Making Hip Hop members. But I have questions about the community because there's some days where I see like producers or artists saying, oh yeah, I have like 80,000 followers and I'm so successful and all this other stuff. And then there's other days where I see like, how many lines are in a bar? And I wonder, like, did you get a lot of value or did you get any value at that up until a point? Or was it always kind of like just a place where you kind of circulated your music and got your feet, running, so to speak?
So they have the Freestyle Friday threads, which are probably my favorite thing. Every Friday, a bunch of producers want to show off their beats, so they upload them, and then rappers can grab them, put a rap on it, and post it back up. So I've been doing that for a while, and I would say that's probably my biggest interaction. I see like Underdog Rising is one of the guys I just saw in the chat, somebody that I met on Reddit. So I think it just varies, like you said, right? There are people on there that apparently, so they say, have huge followings. I don't really click through to a lot of the links most of the time. I wouldn't know, but and a lot of beginner stuff. I mostly just wade through it and just selectively choose where in it's Reddit. Come on, right? It's like the bowels of the internet, and I say that coming from LinkedIn, where there's plenty of things on Reddit. What is it? LinkedIn Lunatics, I think, is the subreddit.
Fun.
So I'm gonna advocate for WCR here, but is there anything that Making Hip Hop does that we should be emulating, like the Freestyle Fridays? Is there something that we can do better to extract some of these Redditors over to our community and let them know how cool and hip and savvy we are?
I mean, for what it's worth, I see you folks get mentioned often when people are asking, like, hey, I'm going to start a Discord community of, producers, and I'll see you folks get mentioned. Like, I would say the one thing, if you want to take from them, is like a contest of some kind, just an encouragement to rap, right? I know you used to do ciphers before. Nikki was telling me when we chatted last week that that's how she got her start here. I think Ray too, but
it was a contest entry for healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good way to encourage people just to get involved.
I'm pretty sure I said that fucking thing. For what it's worth, we did do the entire origin story of WCR was based on a contest. The purpose, ironically enough, was to revitalize an old dead forum called rapbattles.com. And that's how we all started fucking around together. That's how we started making music, and that's where the community formed.
I mean,
so we're going to do another one.
I sit on Discord, though, but I still go on the Reddit community as well. I would say it offers different things. And, Dice, to your question, if you were going to invest, I think, like, the mixing thing that we chatted about in your podcast, like you giving a mixing lesson, I think is something that I don't see in other communities, actually, and where you folks can shine and bring people here. I think that's a lot of people are looking, even me, like it took me the longest time to realize that a lot of feedback I got from you folks originally was you sound really robotic. And a lot of that was certainly that I could improve in my rhythm. But a lot of that was also that I had some old presets that somebody gave me that had the compressor set too high. And it took me a really long time to realize that that's what was causing this boxiness in my sound. And I removed it, and it's like, holy crap, I sound better just like naturally without that. And adding a little bit back in is better. I think just, and when I worked with you, watching you work just through Pro Tools, you weren't even saying anything sometimes. Just watching you move, I think is really valuable. And that's where you folks can shine, because you do have a lot of experience here. And I think that's you have a lot to offer.
All this time, I thought that sounding like a robot was your go-to thing. And then I learned that, no, I don't want to sound like a robot. I want to sound like a human. I just make songs about being a robot.
Exactly.
Confusion cleared up.
Going back to your working, you work and you rap, like a lot of people that do music outside of work aren't able to combine their worlds. Would you say that's something that was a little bit harder for you, or was it easy for you to do? In the way that you have kind of brought them together is kind of very rare in the professional world, that you're able to do something you love at work professionally, like for an actual white collar company, not as an artist.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd say, this is probably been the biggest boon to me, is that I've done this and that people have then sought me out afterwards, like, hey, I'm looking to combine my passion of music with something else, sometimes engineering. Like, I'd love to chat with you. So I'd say for me, it's more that I just don't care. Like, I've just never really cared what other people think. And I've always just kind of done my thing. Like I said, started at a talent show. I was like, okay, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'm just going to rap, because people that have sat next to me at work over the last 20 years were well aware that I was a fan of rap. Like, you can hear the lyrics very clearly through the headphones blaring in my head. But I would say that the hardest part, I think, is now, again, what Bert said, like separating it. I think together was really easy. I work for a social network, and I started posting my stuff on said social network. Our CEO asked me one time, he said, okay, so what's the deal with the rapping? Like, I got to ask her, it's the second career, like, what's going on here? And I'll tell you what I told him, which was no intention of a second career. Do not care if I ever make money on my music. That's why I post on LinkedIn, where, like, I'm not getting paid for most of my streams on my music, because I don't get paid on LinkedIn. And I just want to make work more fun. Like, to me, it's like, if I'm having a good time, if I'm making other people have a good time, if everybody's pointing and laughing at me, including me, then we're all laughing together. And if we're all laughing together, work is usually a lot easier. So I don't mind. Like, I don't mind being just this person that everybody's pointing and laughing at, because it does make work a lot better for everybody. So it's actually just been really easy. I enjoy it.
So it's harder to separate than put it all together and live that life.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder maybe for my wife, who, like, she's seen me perform a few times, and she'll, like, sit in the back with the sunglasses on and be like, don't mention me, don't call me out, I'm not here. She doesn't really like attention, and I have no problem being the center of attention. So I always have to, be cognizant of that.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, for the longest time, I think I tried to keep them distinctly separate, but I'm kind of where you're at now, where I don't really care. I don't walk into like the office announcing like, "Hey, I'm a rapper" or anything. But if people ask, I just like, "Okay, yeah, I do this." And I recently traveled this past week, and then the person I was traveling with, they were like, "So, tell me more about the music stuff." Kind of like a gentle approach rather than, "Oh, you're a rapper," and then people start like reciting lyrics in your face and like doing hand signals and stuff. So I found that I've got older, like the gentle, like when people ask you what your hobbies are, like, "Oh, I mix music and I make music," goes a long ways more so than like, "Oh, hey, I'm a rapper," when you introduce yourself, because then you get the whole shebang of stereotypes. But
Yeah.
one thing I was going to ask you about like LinkedIn is, your bosses know that you rap, and it's very well recognized in your community. Does LinkedIn have any kind of ambitions towards getting more, I don't know what the correct terminology or phrase is, but getting more ingrained in like the music social network side of things? Like, because right now people are saying go to TikTok, go to Instagram, go to X, aka Twitter, and promote your stuff there. Whereas LinkedIn is seen more of like a desk job type stuff. Do they ever have any ambitions or conversate with you about attracting more musicians down that path?
I mean, we don't really talk about it. I don't think I'm necessarily an expert or anything. I think music in general is something that the company loves and supports. Like all of our offices have music rooms, and you just sign up and get access. There's drums, guitars, mics. You can just go in there and find folks to jam with. The last few years, we've done music festivals every summer where they've had some big stars come in and, perform for us. We had Common a couple years ago. Can't remember who it was last year, but Chance maybe. But
he's not big.
Bigger than me. How about that? So, I mean, I think they're very embracing of music. And in terms of like on the site itself, Snoop Dogg joined a couple of months ago and instantly had, multi-millions of followers. I know there's a lot of Harry Mack hatred on WCR, but I personally like Harry Mack. He posts on LinkedIn. I have more followers than him. That's my, at least for now. But I think the business side of it, like I think if people are talking about, and there's music groups on there, now I'm seeing all the posts on the music groups that I'm in about, for Grammy nominations, for your considerations are being posted, but nothing they talk to me about.
Yeah, because I want to say maybe like 10 years ago, if somebody in the hip hop world tried to add me on LinkedIn, I immediately clicked decline, because it would be like, I don't know, their profile would just bring a whole barrage of unwanted content. Whereas now, like if somebody who was like an A&R or like a music executive like interacted with me on there, I would be more open to that than just like somebody who put "I'm a rapper" as their job description on their profile. So that's why I was wondering, like, has LinkedIn ever tried to push more so to be, I mean, if you think back in the days, back when Microsoft was trying to compete with like Apple and Google, like try to be cool, like is LinkedIn trying to be cool, or are they just sticking with what they know in the, we're a career orientated social network?
I mean, the mission is, to provide economic opportunity for the entire global workforce, and that includes musicians and all the ecosystem that comes along with that as well. I don't think the site or the company is necessarily catering to musicians, but I definitely think that it's part of a big machine in our economy that moves. So yeah, I think I don't think they're opposed to it. I still don't see a lot of people posting music like I do, but
do you think there's opportunity to do so though? Like I know they're not opposed to it. Nobody's really saying no or what, but do you think that like if music people took it seriously and like, you know what, I'm going to build up a following on LinkedIn, do you think that it would make any traction, or it just be like one of those things people kind of shrug off?
I mean, it's working for me. That's all I can say is like my
big man.
I post a lot of stuff. I work for the company, so I kind of consider it my job to try to be active. And I think I mentioned in one of the channels recently that I had a post. I copied somebody's photo, one of the company photos, and put it up. Put a stupid joke on it. It's not my second most popular post. But my third most popular post is a rap I did about the company's culture and values that just apparently landed really well. And what's really funny, because I'm sure most of the people listening have no idea, but it was a mixtape, so I was copying. I did 10 Crack Commandments, which is just a great song. And I just personally laugh every time I see, because it's posted on my profile, that people really like the song and they probably just have no idea about the origin, and just, I hope they don't listen to it, because I don't want them to come back and then go, huh, okay.
They probably think you're talking about like cracking a code or a spreadsheet or something.
I hope so.
Yeah, cracking the code. You know, I love this, that you are an innovator. You're using this platform that's not traditionally used for music.
Right.
But as somebody who works for the company, you're like, you know what? I'm going to combine these two worlds. And, I know I'm good with my employer, so there's nothing to risk here per se. And yeah, who knows? Maybe you're going to make it cool to be a musician on LinkedIn.
Yeah, maybe the next Doja Cat of LinkedIn.
I mean, Snoop Dogg did it already. If it's cool to be on LinkedIn, he did it.
Yeah, but Snoop Dogg is already famous. I'm talking about, TikTok getting people famous. LinkedIn could be the next artist platform for the come up.
I don't want to be famous. Like again, Bird mentioned it, and it's hard enough. Like, I'll have people come up to me at work and be like, "Oh, I've seen your videos." It's like, cool. Like, where are we going from here? What else do we got? Like,
do I fuck you now or?
Usually,
just kidding.
Well, and it's
He's a married man, ladies. Back off.
Oh, and I've had women come up and like ask my wife to take a picture of like us. And my wife is great for what it's worth, so she just teases me relentlessly until the end of time. She knows that's not something that I want. That's not why I'm doing this. Again, I just trying to have fun. I would say also trying to teach some lessons. I found that I was giving speeches over and over again at work. I mentor a lot of people. I have hundreds of mentees at work. And I find that I give some of these same lessons over and over again. And blogging just isn't for me. I decided. I've tried for years. I just can't. I start them, I stop them. It's just not as much fun. Rapping is fun. Rapping it's fun to link the words together to get it out. And if I can teach a lesson at the same time, works great.
Would you say that's your core kind of thing that drives you, is trying to reach other people and kind of teach them things that maybe you wish somebody taught you? Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly why I started. I make a lot of songs for fun that are just me having fun. But I do rap a lot about, lack of gender diversity in engineering. I've made a few songs about. I was invited to do a song for the GAD Foundation, which is Global Accessibility Awareness Day, and invited to their award show a few months ago to perform the song there. So I made a song all about digital accessibility and why it's important. Imposter syndrome, just all sorts of topics like that people have resonated with. And I find that if my song helps one or two people, it was worth making.
So what's your goal? I know you have like the one-off songs. You just dropped your robot song. You have don't thumbs up that, man. Don't thumbs up. You have your other songs that you've done for events that you've hosted. Are you ever going to do an Awol project about anything in particular, or are you just, like you said, you're just having fun and you make songs as they come about in your head?
I was just making songs. A project kind of formed around it. Like again, I'm an engineer, so I'm very OCD about everything, including my music. I have spreadsheets and, workflows. I should have a Trello board, but I don't. But
Trello. That's the most engineer shit I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, we use Jira, but I figured, Trello.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But a project kind of formed around it. I would say the biggest thing for me now is Nikki, and I'm pretty sure my wife is not watching, so I feel comfortable saying it's like Nikki's
I hope not.
my wife.
Uh-oh.
And I'm actually, it's just coming together really nice. And, you know, I've been with my wife for a long time. We've been together now for...
Prayers to your wife.
I mean, pardon?
Prayers to your wife.
Oh, she needs it. But we've been together, we started dating 22 years ago, and we got married 16, 17 years ago now. So, like, it's hard to buy gifts for each other, right? Like there's just nothing to buy her. She can buy herself whatever she wants that I haven't, like, she doesn't want jewelry. She doesn't want these things. And even recently, I mentioned that I was going to meet with Nikki. I didn't say Nikki, obviously, but she was like, oh, like, why are you having a meeting on a Friday night? That's kind of weird. And it's like, don't worry about it. It's something for you. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I don't have room for anything. And just having a special way to share my feelings with my wife, I'm actually really happy about. Like, I think it's just coming together really nice. Again, thanks to you folks. I've made songs for my wife before. I look back on them now and I'm like, okay, I could have done this so much better now knowing what I know.
I hope she loves it. I'm sure she's going to.
She will.
There's no way she can't.
Between your help and sorry, Dias, I'll be coming to you to help me mix it. But it'll be great.
Sorry, Dice, you get my vocals.
Question for you, Awol. Tell us about the young man known as Raymond Stans. How do you feel about this individual? Because when Bird and I talk offline a lot, we like to use you two as like prototype of potential for WCR members who join our Discord, where Ray was coming out of some personal stuff and he woke up one day as a 40-plus-year-old and said, I want to be a rapper. You're a corporate engineer. You rap openly, begrudgingly. Do you two get along, or what's the connection that you two have? You've done a couple songs together.
Sure, and I hope Ray's watching. I think Ray definitely thinks that the reason why I like him is because he gave me good feedback on my second submission when other people were spitting on it. So I think that, you know, Ray is confused thinking that that's why. I do appreciate that for what it's worth, but
he's like, actually, fuck you, Ray, for that reason.
No, and I think Ray said it that he didn't realize that you could rap about this kind of stuff. And then I sent him my beat library. We found a beat to work on. And we came up with this idea of this cat and mouse back and forth of cybersecurity. And he loved it. And so I hope that I'm an opportunity for Ray to get that out, because I don't think making tracks with you folks is going to be rapping about IPs and ingresses. But no, in general, I see a lot of folks in the chat too that are just really good community members like Ray, right? Like so y'all know my wife refers to you as my friends, because much like Dias, I don't leave the house if I don't have to. So Discord is like me leaving the house, pretty much me having friends. So I think it's just the cool folks in there, and you folks want to make music. I see DJB, super easy to make a song with. I like making music, and I like folks that are no drama that like to make music. And there's a lot of folks in the community like that, and Ray's one of them.
I would be really interested to hear, because I mean, Dice, mentioned it. Like, we do talk about the community so much, just looking back on the last 2 years, how much it's grown, how many great members we've had come into the community and then kind of become core members themselves. So I'm just curious, what was your first experience with WCR like? And then kind of tell me about your journey with WCR.
So it started with a review show. I saw a post on Reddit. I submitted. Feedback was very helpful for me. And then I joined the Discord. I would say Discord is a very mixed bag. It's just, for example, I am the token white male in most conversations I'm in. My wife laughs at that and tells me that I'm not white and not to get uppity with her. So, Did she do this while she's saying it? Don't get uppity with me, Awol. No, she just smacks me for
Flip her off and threaten
She
you.
does it with her eyes.
I mean, certainly there's racism, but I mean, whatever. Anytime you get a spot on the internet where people can be anonymous, you're going to deal with anonymous people on the internet. So, I mean, that part of it doesn't really bother me. I would say that very quickly found people to collaborate with, very quickly jumped on the square up and got a lot of brutal feedback. I mean, it was all stuff that I'd made before I'd met you folks. And I think meeting the WCR crew and getting feedback from you folks really was transformative for me in 2023. That like having people that'll give me really honest feedback. And I'll like Dice, I mentioned this in the chat, but I'll say it here. Like the reason I like Dice mixing my music is because I get good feedback. Like Dice could definitely slap a mix together. I wouldn't know the difference a lot of the time. I don't have the ear for it. I'm sure he could spend a quarter of the effort and it wouldn't matter. And he's come back to me and been like, are you sure? Like, you can do this better. Like, really? And to me, I'm appreciative of this because I know it's more work for him. He didn't have to do that. And I get that from like Ray too. Ray's done that with working with Ray. Like, hey, I think you can deliver that one better. And it's never from a place of malice, right? It's always like, come on, you can do better. Like the fact that somebody believes you can do better makes you want to do better. And I'm appreciative.
Believe is a strong word. But no, I mean, I feel like if I'm gonna take part in somebody's like passion project, it would be beneficial for me and them to like say, hey, if I feel like you can take it up a level, like take it up a level. Otherwise, like when people don't get that encouragement, they kind of fizzle out after a while. Not everybody has that same drive where they're just like, you know what, I love this so much, even though I suck at it, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like after a while, people get burned out of hearing people say, well, this isn't that great, or you're not that good at this, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna hang it up. So like if somebody sends me a track to mix, I'll tell them like, hey, I mixed it, but here's some things that I did that you could probably improve on, or why don't you just go back and do this part over, so that not that it's less work for me, but like that it'll sound better when I'm done with it.
Well, and again, I have no illusions of being like, I have as much fame as I want from this already, like too much. And it's not why I'm doing it. But, and again, I don't think I ever needed to improve. And I still, my target audience was perfectly happy. Like I'd done 50 raps before I ever met you folks, and they were 100 raps. They're perfectly happy. But I've had people reach out to me, or like even I've chatted with at work, and they'll be like, I listened to that last rap yours, and like, you sound way, way better. Like you have really come a long way. And I think it's both, right? It's certainly when you've made 100 raps, hopefully you've improved a little bit in your skill. And I do the Freestyle Fridays every week. They're never great, but to me, it's just experimenting, trying things out, different sounds. But having somebody say like, hey, I recognize that you are improving, and me realizing, yeah, I think some of it is certainly having a much more professional mix on it. But it's really more like, if you're going to bother to listen to this, well, I want you to have the best product possible, and I want you to enjoy it the best way. It's weird to me that I have fans, for what it's worth. Like I had a family member, a friend of the family, tell me like, oh, I really like this song better than this other song of yours. And I'm like, you have a favorite song of mine? Okay, that's kind of...
They want that old Awol.
You've changed, man.
Awol sold out.
No, they are very appreciative. I think it definitely sounds better. Like I can hear that. I listen to some of my older stuff now, and I'm just like, oh God, I wish I could delete this from the world, but I can't, so I leave it. It's fine.
There's one burning
It sounds
question.
like you can, because you choose to leave it, but that's also, it shows the growth too. Now that I've said this on, probably what's going to be our most popular episode, because we have, the famous LinkedIn rapper himself. I was going to say I have, a place on the internet where all of my very first songs exist. I don't advertise it, but I like to go back there every now and then, just be like, oh shit, wow. And it's kind of cool to look back on.
I do have a burning question because in some of our conversation, you've mentioned that you live in kind of a hot pot social area of California,
I do.
and you happen to interact with some up and coming. I wouldn't say famous people, but like
Bodies.
yeah, some relevant people in the music industry. Have you shared your growth with them, and what is the feedback that you've gotten from them?
So I'll share one of them. So one of them is this guy, Lil Coop, Colin Cooper, who he's a producer for Young Blue. Is, I think, he's worked with a bunch of folks, but that's like one of the guys he works with a lot. And certainly, not the biggest rapper in the world, but millions of followers. So he mixed a song for me in March. And it was when I first met the guy. He was over at my house. My buddy, mutual friend, was like, I'm coming over and we're rapping Friday night. I'm like, all right. And he mixed the song that I already had ready to go. And it was for this LinkedIn's Women Connect conference. So, it's celebrating women in technology. And I definitely wanted my best foot forward. So when I had the opportunity to have it mixed, it was great. And he just ripped me apart. He was just like, it's like, there's just nothing, like, there's nothing to mix. There's nothing to do with this. I need you to redo this. I need, like, just, and I didn't even have, I think I was using maybe Logic at the time or something. Now I've moved on to Pro Tools, which I think has helped me a lot. I'm a complex guy, so the complexity works well. But he did this song with me because he's really big on educating people. So I had the digital accessibility song we called Accessibility Days, DAZE, because it's for Accessibility Day. And did the song with me, landed really well, and we were invited to perform it. And we went and performed it in San Francisco in November or October. And our mutual friend reached out to us and was like, hey, how'd the show go? And we had like every sort of problem go wrong that you could imagine. Live performance with 2 people. There was 1 mic. We didn't realize this until the song was already going. Oof. Like lots of fun stuff. But, before I even had a chance to respond, I'd seen that my Coop had written my friend and said, Adam crushed it. Like just crushed it. And coming from somebody that has seen, where I was before and has seen that it had only been, I guess, 8 months. I was really happy that he had seen the improvement. And we had already talked about doing some educational content, and he seems pretty motivated to do it now, I think, because I've come a long way, and hopefully mixing is a little less work.
So you already said that fame isn't your goal, right? Like, I think that's a great example is like, seems like you get a lot of value from, making music that reaches and touches people. So I'm curious, where do we go from here? What's next for Awol? What is your goal musically, if it's not to get famous?
Just to keep getting better. I mean, I'm already able to I've improved a lot. I'm already getting what I want out of it. I think that improving will make the sound. I mean, even with you folks, when I've submitted to review shows, sometimes like Rogue, for example, was like, I liked this one. This one sounded good to me. When other people didn't like it. So it's a mixed bag. If I can make it better, then I think it'll be more palatable to more people. And I just think the message will land better. Like I have a lot of experience in my career. I've been really, really fortunate. Just in a lot of really fortunate places, like MySpace right after it was acquired was a really weird place to be. And like just a lot of experience, selling companies, bringing companies to IPO, leading engineers. And there's a lot of, I think the world's kind of changed where when I came up, it was to come up without a degree, which I did, was really unique. I don't think it's that unique anymore. And I think that it was just a hard road to walk. And I think that some of the lessons that I learned and some of the way I had to move in the world is hopefully valuable to other people.
Absolutely. Do you guys have any other questions for young Awol?
Young, I'm older than all of you. But
I actually that did bring up one other question, but I feel like I'm slamming him. Did you guys have any others?
I had a little this or that game that I was gonna do before we let him go.
Can I ask my question before you do a this or that?
Yeah.
So, kind of going backwards a little bit, right? Like I think that we've talked a lot about your music, and that's why we're all here, right? We're all making music. This is all of our passions. This is our, it's more than just a hobby. This is our life, right? I write music because this is my therapy. And I just want to, in the same way, kind of connect with people, make sure that they learn from my mistakes and just do better music, right? But I'm curious if you'd be open to talking about your professional journey, because I feel like a lot of people, that are a part of our Discord are either just kind of a little lost. They're just kind of they're just surviving, right? They're in survival mode where they're just like, man, like I do music because it's my therapy, but also like I wish I could do more of this because this job over here is taking up 60 hours of my time. I fucking hate it. Or, they're just struggling to get by, right? And they're just trying to figure out, okay, how do I make ends meet, right? So I'd be really curious to learn a little bit more about your journey. Like, how did you get involved in engineering? Where did you start? And kind of what got you to the place you're here today?
Sure.
Professionally.
I'll give the abbreviated version. So had a computer when I was 3, was really fortunate. My dad had 20 jobs. Well, he passed away about 20 years ago, but while he was alive, had every job you could think of. One of them was running a computer shop, and that was perfect for me. Got a computer, taught myself to program when I was 7. We used to have these things called books.
Heard of them?
Yeah. Choose Your Own Adventure was books some of us 80s kids were really into when we did that.
Love those.
Yeah. So one of them had a computer program in the back of it. And I typed the whole program into my computer and it totally did not work. But I saw like the potential. I saw like, oh, this was supposed to be a game that works. And from there, just learned a little more about how to program. Again, very fortunate. Found the internet when I was young. Found the dark part of the internet very quickly and found a way to make money really quickly on the internet when I was young. Started my own company when I was 13 and pretty much did my own thing for 10 years. Didn't go to school because I was making more money than my teachers. So why would I go to school? And then I was doing some junk mailings, basically what I was doing. They made that illegal in December of 2003. And my wife, who was my fiance, maybe girlfriend at the time, said to me, look, you have the potential to make billions of dollars. Like, I see it. She's like, if you go to jail, I won't wait for you. All she said to me.
That hits hard.
So I sold my company. And then she told me, okay, now you have to go get a real job. I went and got a real job, actually with the help of her mom. I worked for a company called American Media Incorporated. If you look it up now, you'll probably find that the CEO, David Pecker, is really good buddies with Trump and was deeply involved with paying off the porn stars. That was they own the National Enquirer, so I worked for the National Enquirer for a spell.
It's good to have friends.
But
the story is more interesting, but I'm so glad
if you guys won't pay off my porn stars, then I don't want this friendship.
Yeah, and I worked there, so lots of fun. But I worked there basically as an admin, but I knew how to program. And so I programmed myself out of a job really fast. And with that, I was able to get into a better job. And then I just got really lucky. I had built websites on the side that I could use as a portfolio. I got hired at Fox Interactive Media. So working on MySpace, American Idol, Fox Sports, all sorts of fun stuff like that. And just took off from there. Like I was able to just maneuver through different companies, landed at a company called lynda.com, which was an e-learning website, the biggest at the time. We were acquired by LinkedIn in 2015. I was the lead engineer over there. And I'll just mention that's kind of funny because back then I had done raps at work once in a while or whatever. And people knew that I would listen to rap music, but I wasn't putting them out. And so I was the learning guy. I was always the learning guy. And I haven't heard that in many years. Now I'm the rap guy. But no, I mean, so I've been at LinkedIn now almost 9 years. I love the company. Don't see myself going anywhere. They have a great culture. Let me be me. And what more can you ask for?
That's all you can ask for. And like,
Got an idea for a nap. Just kidding.
you know, aside from being a wonderkind who basically figured out how to program at 7, working for the world's largest connector of jobs and a driver of the economy, do you have any advice for somebody who might be currently looking for a career change?
Yes. So first, shameless plug for what we call Reach at LinkedIn, careers.linkedin.com/reach. It is our apprenticeship program, which I'm deeply, deeply involved in and have watched it just transform people's lives. One of my favorite stories I'll tell very quickly was my boss's boss was telling me about a connection he had with somebody from the program and was telling me it was one of his, like, the best experiences of his life. I'm like, what happened? It's like, I was talking to him and I asked him, how has the program changed your life? And the guy was like, I got my own apartment. And my boss's boss asked him, like, oh, who were you living with before? Your mom, your aunt, what? And the guy's like, no, I was homeless. I was living on the streets and I learned how to program in a library. And then through this program was able to get themselves an apartment and like get on their feet. So that's the biggest, I mean, it's mostly engineering. We have some UX and other roles. That's the biggest thing. Other than that, I would just say perseverance is probably the number one thing. Like, whatever you want to do, just do it. Like, you got to handle your shit. That's first and foremost. So people that are sitting there saying like, you're going to be a musician and you have no backup plan, that's not super smart. Like, if nothing else, figure out how to mix, figure out how to be an audio engineer or something and get yourself a job in the industry. Have a backup plan. But I would just say keep at it. Like, I think that my entire career, I've had ups and downs, but most of all, I've just kept at it. And it's always worked out for me.
Oh, that's really good. I just think it's so valuable to, personally, I love mentorship. I love, everything you said about like trying to give people better opportunities, accessibility, right? All of these things are super important. So I just wanted to make sure that we had a chance to discuss it in case anyone sees this in the future and is, inspired to try something different.
I'll throw in one more thing out there, maybe what keeps me at LinkedIn, which is the company really cares about people. And I didn't realize that was something I cared about until I had it. And now I can't really see myself working for a company that doesn't care about people. The example I like to pull out of my pocket, it's just a simple one, is during the pandemic, the company gave free job postings to the Red Cross to find volunteers for when the vaccinations were starting up. So just gave, I think it was like $100,000 in free ads or something to the Red Cross. And the company is always doing things like that. Like they match my donations to charity. So we spend New Year's Eve every year, my wife and I, just trying to get those last minute donations in before the end of the year for taxes, of course, but got to get that company match. So we got to do it through the company portal. I don't see myself working for a company that is not like this in the future. And so when I've gone on interviews, and I will say, like, I go on interviews all the time, I find it important to just be good at interviewing. So I have no problem interviewing, even if I don't plan on changing jobs. I'll ask questions about what the company is like, what they do, what the culture is actually like, how they treat people. I'll reach out to people in the company on LinkedIn and, just find out, hey, you work at this company. Is it really all that they say it is? I think that's really important.
So since the company is so people orientated, would you convince them that if I change the title of these videos to sponsored by LinkedIn, not to sue us?
I don't think they'll sue you anyways.
Or cease and desist us at the very least?
I think you're fine.
WCR brought to you by LinkedIn. Coming
soon.
White collar rhymes. Want to be anything better fit?
I mean, maybe I'll throw out there that that's the other thing I really like about the company too, is there actually is no nepotism. Like, I know that I couldn't swing something like that no matter who I know. I can't get people jobs. I can't do these things. because there is no special treatment, and that's actually one of the things that I really like about my job too. I like actually being normal at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Here at White Collar Rhymes, there is special treatment. That's why Awol is on here getting talked up and boozed up, because we want him to be in our good graces, and we want special favors from LinkedIn.
I mean, I'll post this on LinkedIn for what it's worth.
That's what I'm talking about. There we go.
All right, but you just gotta blur my face. Just kidding.
Nikki, you got any last questions for young Awol?
Young old AWOL.
No, old man Ray is Ray. You're young Awol.
Even though I'm 3 years older, right? That's okay.
No, I think that's everything I got. Mine's always it's always just been astonishing to me how you just mash your worlds together seamlessly, or so you make it look. That's why I'm like, what if you ever want to do anything like, I work on other projects that I might not want work, I don't know.
Nikki, don't be shy. What was the question that you were going to ask that we talked about before the show? Go on.
Oh, what's your favorite rock?
My favorite rock.
Yeah.
Like Zeppelin? No, I know you're really into like geo rocks. I'm kidding. No. I don't have a favorite rock, but how about this, Nikki? I will say that the Natural History Museum here in Los Angeles has an entire geode section. That's my favorite part of the museum. I love just going through there. It's nuts.
Geodes are crazy. They're so cool.
This is the most excited she's been on this podcast in months.
Somebody likes rocks.
You just reaffirmed everything about her existence.
I mean,
that's something. No matter what it looks like on the outside, could be so fucking beautiful.
And I won't walk across the house, but my son has this little box of treasures, and there's a few pieces of coral, but it's mostly random rocks. And there's nothing special about these rocks other than he determined they are treasures. So
never know. Every kid though, every rock is like.
All right, Awol. Since you are a self-proclaimed hip-hop head,
oh god,
we're gonna put you to the test. And Bird, what do you have in that cup down there? Let's make it a little bit more interesting. You still got some drinky drink in that cup?
Looks good.
This whole thing.
All right. So I'm gonna steal something from Drink Champs here. We're gonna do this or that. And anytime you pick both, Bird has to take a drink.
Love that. Love my fate being determined by Awol's knowledge of hip hop.
Yeah, but you can throw in some too. I got a few prepared. So
it's just so random too. Like I know really long.
I'm in. Let's go, baby. Yeah.
So pick your favorite. But if you can't pick a favorite, Bird has to drink. So let's start.
I was
off.
just gonna say both to everything.
I mean, it's tempting.
So let's start off with the basic stuff. So Tupac, Biggie, which one?
Tupac. I live in LA, man.
There you go. All right.
To live and die in LA.
Rockefeller or Bad Boy Records?
Oh, Rockefeller. Come on.
Okay.
Wait. Hold on. So when we did this is kind of like Five Fingers or any of the other fun drinking games. You kind of have to say why though. Like it's not just a answer and move on. I want a reasoning. I mean, so the first one was lives in LA. Why Rockefeller for you?
I'm just a big Jay-Z fan. Really, really like Jay-Z. And I think he's one of my constant plays, I would say.
Okay, let's turn it up a notch. Jay-Z or Tupac?
Ooh, it's tough. Depends on what mood I'm in, to be quite honest. Like, I listen to both.
I knew it was going to be both.
All right. Cash Money or No Limit?
Probably Cash Money. Okay. I know that I might get a lot of hate, because there's a lot of No Limit fans in Discord, but sorry.
Shout out to young Taru.
Do we get to weigh in as well? Like Nikki,
yeah.
I saw Nikki, you went on mute. Stop it. That's a drink. That's a drink. Every time Nikki goes on mute while we're on a fucking podcast, that's a drink.
What if I gotta burp?
Let it out.
That's a drink. You're gonna have to drink while you burp, you fuck.
I don't have a drink.
While you burp. I want to see that.
Yeah.
All right, Awol. UGK or Outkast?
Oh, Outkast.
all day.
You want why, really, though? I would say the why for me is a little more sentimental. Just Southern Playlist, the Cadillac Funky Music was a great album, and I had that when I was 14. Just love that album.
Well,
Big Boy or Andre?
Oh, Andre. Even with his sorry.
Dude, people, okay. Hip hop people say, like, oh, top 5. Oh, yeah, Big Boy all way. I disagree. I liked Andre better.
I mean, Andre's high on my list this week only because his quote from a few weeks ago, what was he saying? That he's too old to rap. And what he say? Like, what am I going to rap about? My colonoscopy? That's just a great line that, he wins points for.
I drank for Lambs both. So,
Shout out to young T Lamb out in the chat.
Shout out, Lamb.
E40 or Too Short?
Ooh, that's tough. Probably Too Short. Freaky Tales is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just vile and awful, and I can't listen to it except in private. Although I have made a Geeky Tales. I'm just too afraid that people will make the connection and I'll get fired.
You think okay. Because it uses the same beat as Freaky Tales, even if you do something different?
I mean, same cadence. I was gonna,
You're gonna get freaky with it.
I was gonna do it.
All right.
That's what I was asking. If you could ever do a freaky song or anything like that, you never could.
All right. What about this one? Scarface or Andre 3000?
I mean, again, probably Scarface. More just when I was younger, the Diary was just a great album and just was in my rotation for a long time during my teenage years. So I think to me, it's just sentimental.
50 Cent or Ja Rule?
Oh, 50. 50 is just 50 is the best troll on the internet. I got to quote my wife for that one. 50 makes the internet worth watching, using.
You guys should get 50 Cent to sign up on LinkedIn. I'm sure that would be a bigger draw than Snoop Dogg.
I would love that. He hasn't taken my call yet. I mean, I keep connecting with the CEO of Rockefeller. She didn't accept my connection. Harry Mack hasn't accepted my connection, so I'm trying, but not yet.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll put in a phone call. I will also say that this is a secret for anyone who's ever hosted a party. I'm a 50 Cent guy all day. All day. I agree with you 1,000%. Ja Rule Radio on Spotify is the best fucking Spotify playlist because it's not much Ja Rule. It's just all those jams from back.
It's all J-Lo. Yeah.
Basically.
All right, let's throw a few producers in there. Dr. Dre or Timbaland?
Oh, Dre. Again, I'm from LA. Dre's a local.
Dre or DJ Quick?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like if I don't say DJ Quick, I can't say that I live in Los Angeles. I feel like that's cool.
You can also say both.
Oh yeah, let's say both.
All right. What about a little bit more? Let's go back to the East Coast. Just Blaze or Kanye West? Which one carried Rockefeller?
Oh, I mean, I'm a Kanye West hater, and every time I play it, it's hard to listen to even Jay-Z. So, the Jay-Z, R. Kelly record, I can just throw that one out and be like, all right, we just won't listen to this anymore. Kind of like skipping Biggie and R. Kelly. You just skip that song on Life After Death, right? But Just Blaze. We'll go with that.
Just Blaze? Okay. Okay. Got my eye on you, Awol. Do you listen to R&B?
When I have to.
And when you have to, do you mean the one time you made a son, or?
No, I mean I listen to
roasted.
I listen to exclusively rap music. It's just the only thing I listen to.
Okay.
I did go to the MJ show on Thursday though. That counts, right?
MJ.
Yeah, MJ, the Michael Jackson musical.
He's pop.
Sorry, that's as close.
He's also dead. So you watched Broadway. That's not R&B.
All right. Well, let me ask one final question
to
test how much of a milk you really are.
Oh God.
Yes or no? Would you go see MJ on Ice?
Do I get to go with you?
No, I'm not going to see anything on ice. You go with your wife.
I'm not going alone. I mean,
You go with your wife.
No, I would not go see MJ on ice.
Oh,
Would you see Lion King on ice?
Of course.
seen
Great.
That sounds kind of fire. I'm not.
Why is that I was gonna say?
Great J. Cole song.
I knew that would get him.
all right. I think we have consumed enough of Awol's valuable time. I'm sure he has a lot of mentees lining up to interview him for picking knowledge out of his brain.
Sunday night on a holiday weekend, not really, but thank y'all for having me. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and again, thank y'all for what you do. I really appreciate what you've done for my music. It's helped a lot.
No, man, big thanks to you. We really do appreciate you sticking around a community. That's one thing that I wish we could get more of out of the review show, but it is what it is. But when people do stick by and contribute and be active, we got people like Awol, we got people like Ray, we got people like Rogue actually hosting shows, we got people like Lamb who are actively engaged, so shout out to you. Big thanks to you for being an active and strong contributor to our community, and just wanted to show some appreciation to you.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank
All right.
you.
We're gonna let Awol go.
Wait. I'm gonna do this.
Gross.
Bars.
Was it the cow
That's
thing?
how you do a salute. Yeah. Dice hates my salute, but my salute's
That bitch,
fire,
I'm a
bro.
cow. That one. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Salute is the worst. No, but I think that went pretty good. So yeah, we're like I said, we're trying to reach out and do some new interesting content. This was actually Bird's idea to bring Awol in because we saw how active Awol has been in the community. So wanted to pick his brain for a little bit. But if there's other people in the community who would like to be interviewed or that you all would like to see interviewed, drop us a message. Let us know. We're always listening and paying attention. So be sure to chat us up and keep us engaged because we'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Here's where I'm at. I just find it so interesting learning about people's journey, right? This isn't, in my mind, I was just so fascinated with the idea that someone ran across our community, they joined it, they actually listened to us for once, which never happens, and then they've progressed in their music, right? And I love to see it. And I just wanted to learn more about his journey, learn more about his approach to music, and learn more about his life. So I really appreciate Awol coming through and letting us kind of grill him.
I love learning about his mix and work and music because that's something that I think a lot of artists struggle with is balancing work and music. Yeah. He just kind of was like, well, I don't have to balance if I do it all. Let me just put them together, then I don't have to balance. Then I just have to worry about the home and work balance.
He also works 16 hours a day. So.
Balancing a kid, a wife, work, and music. I don't know how you guys do it that have kids. I don't. It's hard.
Nikki, what would you think your work's reaction would be if they learned that you rap /sing / have you already
They did at a clinical social hour I had. I played a song for them from Texas. I played In My Zone.
Oh.
Just that my part of it, because there's swear words in it that I forgot about. And it was me rapping.
Because it's unreleased. No one can hear it yet.
They wanted to hear me rap because I'm like, yeah. And I was like, do you sing? And they're like, someone was like, do you rap? And I'm like, I have, yeah. Like, and some of my coworkers are like on my TikTok, and they've seen me do music, and they follow me and listen to my music. And we have a music channel, and I've actually another person that works at my work has asked me to collab with him. He's a singer because he posted his music in our music section, like what's playing in our work stuff. I just post my new song, and they're like, oh, this is what's playing. Play it. So I actually have to figure out that collab because like his brother's like a really, really good artist too. But yeah, that was during like our clinical social hour, which is like our happy hour we have. So like played it for my director, and and they were like, "It's really good," and they asked me to send them like my little snip of it because it's not swearing, and I'm like, it's a pretty PG rap, so.
Let me ask you guys this: when the documentary gets released to the public, to the world, let's call it 6 months, 8 months from now, you gonna share it with your work? You gonna share it with everyone you know?
Probably. I have to watch it first. I'll be able to discern after. The close people at work, yes, probably. Yeah, I don't know. My work's a lot bigger than just my social hour. Scary. I don't know what the content is in Texas. I don't know. I'm kind of wild.
I share everything I do. I mean, just by default. I mean, like I said, it's not like I walk around through the halls like I'm a rapper, but the people that know, they know. So it's like, if you follow me anywhere, you're connected with me anywhere, you're going to see my music stuff just by default. But, you know, if people ask me, hey, what have you been up to? Be like, oh, yeah, we did this documentary when I was off that 1 week last year. And I'll share it with them. I mean, what's the worst they can do? Fire me? Nervous laughter.
What's the worst they could do? Throws that into the universe smites you. Yeah,
no, I mean,
it's
not, and I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Awol. Like, I think a part of like what makes him so comfortable talking about rapping while he's working is like removing the stigmatism of I'm doing something bad, right? It's like, I'm not selling drugs. Me personally, like everybody else is drinking. I'm not like wasted, like doing outrageous things. Not that anybody who was drinking was doing any of that, but it's not like we're doing like malicious, like intentionally foul things. Like, we're not tearing up property. We're not like spray painting.
No, it's a pretty PG documentary.
Just making music.
Yeah, I mean, outside of language and just like, you know, adult humor, we're just getting together as creatives and like putting together content.
I think I heard the cleavage in that video.
So it's like, if people, and that's why I say, like, as I've gotten older, like, and that's why I try to impart on the young people in the review show is like, yo, like, why are you talking about things that you don't do? Why are you talking about street stuff? Why are you talking about all this other stuff? Because like, as you get older, it's like, why would I be ashamed of the music that I'm making right now? Like, I'm talking about relationships and like how you know, deal with like life coming at you like 180 miles per hour when you're trying to go 20 miles per hour. Like, I'm talking about stuff that people could relate to. So like, I have no reason to be ashamed of what I'm doing. It's just that I don't feel like I have to broadcast it because I don't want that to be like somebody see me and be like, oh, he's the rapper. Like I said, like, you shouldn't look at me and say he's a rapper. He's like, oh, I know him as either by his government name or by his stage name, and I treat him however I treat him. Like, don't treat me like a stereotype. So yeah, I mean, I'll share it with anybody who wants to see it, anybody who comes across it. I have no reservations, no drawback.
I even fully tried to cross my worlds because I'm trying to release that Dirty album. So I don't really want to. I'm scared.
I mean, think of it like this. I mean, your boss is probably getting folded up somewhere on a Saturday night, you know?
I don't need them to hear me.
People do things and people live lives, but like, people, of course, there's the occasional prude person who wants to act like, you know, I don't get, you know, my butthole ate on Friday nights by some, you know, hot young pool boy. But I mean, people are out here living life too. So like, the don't let people shame you into feeling like you can't be yourself is what my point is.
Here, and it kind of brings it full circle, right? Which is like, when you're in the corporate eye, it's a little different, right? Like, if I just lived a private life, if I was, you know, just another Joe Schmo on the street who worked a retail job and didn't have people that I was directly connected with who, you know, make my entire living, right? It would be a little different, where like, I don't do anything, I don't say anything, I don't live a life that I don't live. You know what I mean? Like, I don't talk about drugs, I don't talk about guns, I'm not like a street guy. I'm just a person living my life. But at the same time, I think it's interesting that there is a little bit of hypocrisy in corporate America, I would say, where you're not able to live your life fully. Anybody that you talk to, from the CEOs, VPs, I've hung out with all of them after hours. They're the worst ones. They're the monsters that are making kind of the world worse. But because everyone looks up to them as the beacon of good, because we're pretending that they are, golden gods and not people, they're not allowed to have people qualities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It's like
CEOs aren't allowed to have people qualities. They're not allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to have feelings for people outside of their marriage or outside of their relationships. So if that happens, they're like, oh yeah, like the entire board of directors that is in charge of whatever company will be like, oh my God, I've never thought of a work colleague in that manner. Smite you. You're gone.
And not to make this like a political topic, but like Hunter Biden is a good example. It's like everybody's like, oh, well, Joe Biden should be ashamed of his son going out binge drinking and buying prostitutes. I mean, like, you don't have a crackhead in your family somewhere off. Like, you don't have a cousin out there, renting prostitutes off of the corner and then going and doing a line of coke in the bathroom stall. Like, come on. Like, and that's why I said, like, Nikki's boss is probably getting folded up right now as we speak, celebrating the holiday tomorrow. Like, yeah, eat my ass. What's going down tonight? I don't got to work tomorrow. I can wake up and walk like I got my hip thrown out by some young stallion.
But that's the problem, is that they pretend they don't, and there's other people that think they don't, and they can never let that secret out. So anyone that finds that out of like, oh yeah, I was getting folded, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you get your ass ate, you get your ass ate, man. We should be applauding that. Like, yo, you found somebody.
I think we have like 5 years until like VPs can get their ass ate, and like 5 years.
We should start putting a countdown on all of our streams, like days until VPs can get their ass ate.
Yeah.
Let's count it down. Let's normalize ass eating as like just a general, like, how was your day yesterday conversation when you pass by somebody at the water cooler. Oh yeah, got my ass ate last night. I'm good.
That's kind of what I say.
That's great, Bob. I'm glad you're feeling good today.
For what it's worth, I think that my company has no people that have people characteristics. I don't think there's any eating ass at whatever company I'm at. There's none. No eating ass. There's no. It's just all just people who literally ignore their wives, ignore their husbands, and try to further the global common good.
You know what'll make your wife happy, fellas? Eat her ass.
Full circle.
All right. Yeah, tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, so hopefully people got the day off. I got the day off.
If you didn't get the day off, then your company's racist. It's true.
Yeah, that's what I was. Thank you, Bird, for that nice little setup there. If you didn't get the day off, hopefully it's like one of those scheduling things where you get, the following day off and somebody else is, working, something like that. But if you didn't get the day off, you should go to your, executive leadership or put like an anonymous, note in the Dropbox for HR and say, hey, I noticed that yesterday was Martin Luther King Day and we didn't have the day off. What's up with that?
Federal holiday.
Federal holiday.
Oh, we're the only ones that can't do it? Why is that?
And also, if you're in the UK and you don't have the day off, be like, yo, people in America had civil rights. Why don't we have civil rights, mate?
And then that bag of tea you were going to put in a cup of hot water, light it on fire with a fucking lighter, a Bic lighter, and then yell at the clouds at your king.
Yeah. Nikki, what is that behind you?
A chakras poster tapestry.
Why? Let me rephrase my question. Why is that behind you?
Because it explains all the different chakras, but I also am learning all the mudras for it, which I don't know all those yet, so it's very helpful, but I do like it. But yeah, I got a lot of tapestries. So this one is this here. That'll probably change soon.
How often do you change the tapestry?
I mean, it hasn't been often yet, but I am still going to be.
This is new to us. We're used to seeing
well,
like.
yeah, I'm going to be putting up some foam and stuff, so
okay.
We'll change. But yeah, this will more than likely be out by my yoga area.
I mean, usually behind you is like Aladdin's rug or some shit. So I was just curious.
Aladdin's rug, what? Oh
Yeah.
my horoscope tapestry. That one's hanging out there right now.
Jesus. All right.
That's normally my to-go tapestry. I have 2 tapestries that I normally carry with me at all times. I have like an altar one, and then I have that one that I normally carry with me because it's big, so it's good for like if I need to do a pop-up video.
I forgot something. He's not here anymore, but let me show you guys how awesome that Awol is. This was the Christmas gift that he got me. It's a game that I play quite often that D-Bird was making fun of me for, but Apex Legends, the official cookbook. So, another shout out to Awol just happened to catch my eye when I was looking over there. Guy really pays attention to people. So, one thing that we're trying to do is pay attention to you fucks out there. I gave away some equipment a couple weeks ago, and the guys started getting it. So shout out to Chris Whitty, shout out to J Daddy, and God, what was the other person? Shout out to all the people who got their shit. I'm looking forward to seeing what people actually do with their equipment and like their growth. Like Bird said.
He was super cold in his car, so I helped get.
Oh yeah, John Doty was the other person.
He didn't get his mic yet. He got his.
Yeah, the mic takes a little bit longer, but everybody should have all of their stuff by the end of this week. So I'm really excited to see what people. No, Garf didn't get shit. See what people get out of all of their new stuff, and hopefully, like we said, it encourages people to like keep at it and grow rather than just like get stagnant and quit and give up. Because I was sharing some music with Rogue the other day, and he was asking about some guy I used to collab with, and I was like, you know what? I haven't heard from the guy in a while, and kind of made me a little bit sad for a moment because it was somebody that I really liked collabing with. He was really dope at what he did. Last time I talked to him, I sent him an interface trying to help him out, and just never heard from him. So, whatever I can do to keep the community engaged and keep people in their creative mindset, I'm all for it. And I'll shut up now.
Yeah, no, I talked to him today, got his interface. He was out in his car in the cold, so I tried getting him into the hotel tonight and told him to download the drivers for everything before he gets it. So he's doing that all tonight. Gonna help him with that.
Yeah, and we'll try to do like I said, we'll try to do giveaways more frequently. Sounds like the next thing that we have to make Bird feel warm and comfy about himself is a tournament of some sort. Competition. I don't know.
Okay. Let's be honest. Yeah, duh. That's the next step. And okay, I hate this because now I feel like, I'm, kind of a core member of this white collar rhymes thing. And at one point, when we first started this, I was just a competitor who was crushing fucking dicks left and right with my fucking microphone. And I made it into the semifinals. I think I should have gone to the finals. Still hold a grudge. And I would love to participate, but probably, it's going to be a thing that I host and have to roast all you fuckers in your bad fucking
We'll figure it out. We'll make something happen for you schmucks out there so you can be the next young Jacob.
Yeah, you too can be a Jacob. If only you know how to mix, master, rap, sing.
Produce.
Good luck.
Nikki, what are you typing?
I would have lost it. I would have lost to Jacob too, but I think I should have gone to the Jacob round. I should have gone to the finals.
Tomatoes. You had a hard on for what's his name anyway?
Oh, I love Coulter. I think Coulter is great. Think
you're better than Coulter?
So what's funny is I was up against Coulter, who I viewed as the biggest competition at the time, and he never made a serious song. He never did anything deep, and I was like, I know how I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna make a song about my dead dad. I'm gonna make a song about my dead ass dad, and that'll get me into the finals. And he made a song about his dead ass friend Ralph. So it was dead person versus dead person. They picked his. It was close though, and I think that I still should. I made the better dead person song.
There's a joke in there somewhere about your dead dad not being very relevant compared to his dead person, but I'm not going to make that joke.
Feel free.
It's okay. Shout out dead D-Bird dad.
Hey, Papa Bird, what's up?
All right, we got any other things we want to cover? I don't really. When's the Super Bowl? Somebody told me it's next month. I'm like a month early.
Yeah, it's normally in February. It's normally like the second weekend in February 1st.
I just know by the time the NBA All-Star festivities are happening, football is the fuck out of here, and I'm excited and I'm happy. So I'm just counting the days down.
Let me see. Super Bowl 24. It is 2024, not the one from 1980. February 11th.
February 11th. All right. Are we gonna have like a Super Bowl party? Or are you guys gonna be too busy?
Dude, I'm gonna be at a Super Bowl party. Are you fucking
Me
kidding
and Nash with the Puppy Bowl last year, remember?
Fucking losers. God damn it.
Me and
Why
Nash
are we friends? Why are we
I
friends?
have friends. They're siblings.
No, I'm saying, why are we friends? Why am I friends with you fucking losers who don't even
You
like
love
sports?
us.
Well, yeah, it's because I love you. That's why. That's true.
You always
Yeah,
want to be the same without us. And now that you've had us, you can't live without us.
that's true. Once I get a little taste.
Once you little taste of all of us.
That's what the first person who ate ass said.
Is it? Or did they say, puh, puh, ooh, gross, clean yourself?
Then why would they try it
I
again?
actually did that, and she goes, but I really liked it. Okay, I'll do it again then.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna skedaddle out of here for tonight. Appreciate y'all joining us. Again, shouts out to Awol. Shout out to everybody who is in the chat. Joe Boston, DJB, T Lamb, Jacob, everybody. I can't remember all the names, but I saw y'all. Vulgar. I'm scrolling. Mosgrave. I'm scrolling some more. Whatever. All right. Shout out to everybody. We'll be back Wednesday for the review show, we'll be back Tuesday for the Tuesday show, and then we'll be back Wednesday for the Wednesday show. We will review some music, have some fun, tell people to give up on their hopes and dreams, but also join the Discord and talk to us. And then we'll do it again on Sunday. We'll do this again. Who knows what we'll do next Sunday?
Maybe we'll fucking interview you. You know? Maybe we will.
Man.
Nobody's safe from our line of questioning.
Until then, we're going to get out of here and we're going to raid a resident member, but also streamer herself that I interviewed not too long ago. That's right. You saw the double dab. That means it's none other than Big Sexy Dez.
Wow.
She is out there listening to music. So if you are disappointed that we didn't give your crappy tracks some rough feedback tonight, that's Dez.
Ask her. She'll give you some. And
You
she'll
got
look good
you.
doing it. She's big and sexy.
She's actually
And,
Big in heart and sexy in physicality.
there you go. All right. Tell her we sent you over there. Until next time, folks, skedaddle, toodaloo, whatever Mary Poppins said when she gets out of here.
Toodaloo! Isn't that Miss Doubtfire? Toodaloo!